Zillow searchers, my name is Elicia Gower Michaud and I'm a realtor here in Austin, Texas. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to give you my top 3 tips on how to pick a great buyer's agent. I understand it can be confusing. Most people know dozens of agents. If there's anything that I've learned in the past 20 years of selling residential real estate, buying and selling dozens of properties personally, and being an investor, is that it's just as important what you pay for a home as it is for what you sell it for. However, most people will interview many agents and spend hours and hours trying to pick the right listing agent when it's time to sell, but they don't do a lot of due diligence when it is time to pick an agent to represent them to buy the home. They'll walk into an open house, pick someone that they think is nice or someone that looks cool online and just go with them. I can't tell you how many times as a realtor I will go on the MLS and look at the sold data for something that recently closed in my neighborhood and think to myself, gosh, who bought that house? Who paid that price for that house with the terrible floor plan, or that awful house with the power pole behind it, or gosh, why did they buy in that neighborhood when we know they're putting in a new road behind it? 99 times out of 100, I'll look down at the agent who represented the buyer and it's someone that I've never heard of. It's not anyone that works in the neighborhood, not anyone that lives in the neighborhood, probably a part-time agent, someone from out of the area, or just an agent who works all over town and just doesn't even specialize anywhere at all. You know when I love these type of agents, the part-timers and the non-specializing agents, when I have a crappy listing to sell. It happens to all of us. We get a call from someone and they've got a house that's in a terrible location, or they've done some really taste-specific updates that the majority of people aren't gonna like, or there's just any other negative aspect to the house. I know that my market is not gonna be one of my fellow agents who specializes in the area that I have the listing in. It's most likely going to sell to someone with a discount broker, someone with a part-time agent, someone using their friend from out of town, because they are just going to be chasing the deal. They're not there to provide value and point out things that are going to affect the buyer on resale. So how do you cut through the noise and figure out who is a great agent to work with? These are my top 3 tips. Number 1, do not commit to an agent until you've committed to an area that you want to move to. I understand that a lot of people, especially people coming from out of the area looking in Austin, don't know where they want to be. They're looking at things from North Austin to South Austin, east to west, lake properties, just you name it, they're trying to narrow down the areas. I would say do your due diligence, look online, do some touring, maybe talk to a couple different agents who can give you a quick tour and maybe a little glimpse into the inventory out of those areas. And then once you decide where you want to be, then figure out what agent you want to work with. I specialize in the Steiner Ranch area, the northwest quadrant of Austin, including Lakeway and Cedar Park. If I'm showing you houses for a while and then you decide, hey, I want to move down to South Austin, I'm not going to go and take you down to South Austin because I would have no value to give you there. I would basically just be opening doors and pushing paper. I have integrity, so I'm going to want you to be well represented, and even if it's not by me, I'm going to refer you to an agent down in South Austin who is going to give you the same level of service and value that I could give you up in Northwest Austin. That brings me to number 2. How do you know who is a specialist? There is zero regulation in the real estate industry on who can claim to be a specialist anywhere. I could claim to be a specialist in any neighborhood, throw up a Facebook page, do a bunch of social media posts, and probably a lot of people would believe that I specialized in that area, and maybe I sold 1 or 2 homes there. That's not truly a specialist. So how do you know who is truly a specialist? Well, Zillow makes it easy for you to do that. When you're looking at an agent's profile, go down and look at the homes they've sold. The vast majority of agents are just gonna have homes all over town. They could be from Driftwood to Pflugerville to Round Rock to Manchac. They don't specialize anywhere. They are just chasing around deals and basically are just a door opener. So when you decide on that area that you want to live in, look in that area, start looking at listings in that neighborhood, and then when you look over at that agent's profile, if they sold a couple hundred houses there, they're probably a specialist. Number 3, there is absolutely no substitute for experience in real estate. A brand new agent is not going to have the credibility to bring to negotiations. If there's a multiple offer situation, they're not going to win. They're not going to have the instinctive foresight to be able to see 5 steps ahead in a negotiation because they haven't done it 100 times. They're also not going to have years of experience of looking at the inventory in the market. It's going to also take them a lot longer to figure out when a shift is happening in the marketplace. So how can you know if an agent's new? There's a lot of agents out there that use creative language in their advertising to make it seem like they've done it a lot longer than they have. In Texas, the easiest way to check that out is to go to the TREC website website and search their license history and see when they actually got their license. Let the new agents learn on somebody else. Let them learn on the people who were not smart enough to do their due diligence to find a great experienced agent who will represent them in the best way. So having said all this, if you do decide that you're looking in the Steiner Ranch Northwest section of Austin, that includes Four Points, River Place, Cedar Park, Lakeway, I'm your girl. If you check out my Zillow profile, you'll see that I've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of properties. The vast majority of them are in Steiner Ranch and the areas surrounding there, and I would love to have a chat with you. Either give me a call, shoot me a text, or email, or just simply check out my website, www.steinerranchinfo.com. I would love to meet with you and see if we're a great fit. Thank you.